Hey, what's going on guys? It's me Aiden, welcome back to another video. Now, if somehow you were not aware, Monster Fu, or Furious Fu, whichever you want to call it, has been released. And like always, I wrote down some notes as I was watching it, and I'm going to be talking about those notes today in this video. Now, the notes do go in chronological order for the episode, so as long as you've seen the episode, which if you haven't, I highly recommend that you go watch it because it was pretty good. But as long as you've seen the episode, then you should be able to follow along with what I'm saying because it goes pretty much in sync with what the episode is doing. And I will also have like images up on screen of what I'm talking about, so hopefully you'll be able to remember the scene. And I know I'm going to get questions about this, and that is, when is the English dub coming out? We do not know yet, okay? I will let you know whenever we hear about it, but as of right now, we have no confirmed date. But yeah, without any further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into this analysis slash discussion slash thing, whatever, I don't know what to call this. Alright, so the first thing I wanted to say is that Waze and the other Kwamis are really immature. Like, you would expect them to be a little bit more mature, and you know, Marinette's like, alright guys, look, I'm gonna go see Master Fu, you guys cannot come because of obvious reasons, and then they're like, no, we still want to come. And especially Waze, like, Waze pulled that stunt where he got out of the bag and started to go see Master Fu and then started talking, and then Marinette was like, oh yeah, they can even talk and stuff like that. It's like, come on guys, you guys are supposed to be like millions of years old or however old they are, and it's like, what, why? And Waze was supposed to be the mature one, right? Like, he was the one who was like, all right, we got to do things properly and things like that. Like, come on, Waze, what happened to you? Next thing I thought about when watching this episode was, how did Master Fu become the Guardian? Because obviously Su-Han is like the Celestial Guardian here. He's like the head Guardian. And presumably he died, right? Like, when the fire struck, and I mean, Master Fu caused that fire with the whole like feast, sentient monster thing, right? Like, presumably the Celestial Guardian Su-Han, he was the official guardian of the Miracle Box, right? So then when he presumably died, does that mean that the Miracle Box ownership was just passed down to the next best person, which in this case was Master Fu? Like, how did that all happen? Because I don't know. I'm just genuinely curious as to how that system works. And then now that Su-Han is back, shouldn't the box realize the line of authority? Like, even though Marinette was the most recent holder, it should realize that the original holder is now back and it was restored to what it originally was due to the Lucky Charm. So shouldn't that ownership be like pushed back or prioritized back to Su-Han? I don't know, just something to think about. Next thing that I thought was pretty cool is that each scepter that every single Guardian has a little compass to track a Miracle Box, and I thought that that was really cool. Now here's a quick thought on how to easily beat Shadow Moth. You give him the Miracle Box, you take out all of the Kwamis, you give him the Miracle Box because he presumably doesn't know about the compass thing, right? So you just give him the Miracle Box without any Kwamis, you bamboozle him, and then he'll be like, no, why aren't there any Kwamis in here? And then Marinette can just be like, haha, now we know where you live. And yeah, now you're beaten, and it's like, why not just do that? Hawkmoth would very easily fall for it because he prioritizes getting the box over a lot of things. So I don't know. Now another thing I thought was interesting is that there's a proper form to each Miracle Box, which is why as it's passed down it keeps the same form, and that's why all of them look very similar. Like when we saw the one from like the Eagle Miraculous Holder or Guardian from like the New York special. I'm not entirely sure who that guy was. But the box looked very similar to the traditional Miracle Box style, right? So it's cool to know that there's a proper form, and as they're passed down, they're supposed to keep that proper form. And it's cool that Marinette was the first one to break it, you know, sort of like how it is and stuff like that. Now, Su-Han went hard on Master Fu in this episode. He was just like, you know, chicken legs, like stupid, or I don't remember exactly what the quote was. But he was just going hard on Master Fu, like, geez, man, you don't have to be that mean. But I guess I could see sort of where you're coming from because he did sort of like ruin everything. So, you know, he was kind of a failure, but you know what? We all like Master Fu. Now, Guardians aren't really supposed to wear Miraculouses, which makes complete sense. Like I can totally understand why that would be a thing. Obviously, Master Fu and Marinette did not do that, but it's cool to know that like Su-Han has never worn a Miraculous, which is interesting. Now, another rule that was stated is that Kwamis are not supposed to be outside of the box. Also makes total sense for a rule. He was super worried when he saw that Plagg was not there, because Plagg killed the dinosaurs and caused all these different things. And so, yeah, they treat them as these dangerous beings that have to be controlled, and Marinette doesn't really see them that way, neither did Master Fu, presumably. So, yeah, it's interesting to see the rules versus what Marinette and Master Fu did. Now, Su-Han has a lot of differences from this day and age to when he was alive. So he was surprised to hear that they did not use pigeons to communicate and stuff like that. Because, you know, obviously, they have a bug phone and things like that. So that must mean that the Miraculous, like, they upgrade their powers based on the day and age, right? Like, because obviously phones like that didn't exist back in the day, right? And so now it's like this modern piece of technology. So does that mean that the wielder, or the holder, for example, Marinette, has a lot more control over the Miraculous's powers than she realizes? Because, I mean, like, in the future, say, for example, there's just, like, telepathy phones or whatever, does that mean that they're going to be able to use telepathy? That could be very interesting. And I think that this is part of the reason why, at the end, Su-Han was like, all right, you know what, I'll trust you, I'll give you a shot, is because he realizes that, you know, it's not the same day and age as it was back when he was like a full-time guardian or whatever, right? Like, things have changed dramatically, and I think that is part of the reason why he was like, all right, you know what, I'll let you take a shot at this. If you fail, you're giving it back, but you know what, I'll give you a shot. Now, Cat Noir said that he would return the Miraculous if Ladybug said to, which, I don't know, man, that just made me happy. That made me realize, or not realize, I knew this, but like, it just reaffirmed that Cat Noir is a really good hero. He would make the perfect sidekick for being a guardian of the Miraculous. Like, why not make there be two guardians, the yin and yang? They're supposed to be equal. Well, obviously heroes aren't supposed to be guardians, but you know what I mean. He was also worried that Ladybug would forget him. Now, at this point, we know that Adrien and Kagami are dating, right? So this was more of a friendship worry. Like he was like, oh no, Ladybug, you're gonna forget me. No, we're good friends, right? So that's just like, man, Cat Noir's a really good guy. I wish we saw him more. He's just thrown under the bus all the time. Now, Guardians are trained to defeat Rebel Miraculous heroes, which, yes, makes sense. But at the same time, right, Guardians are trained extensively and held to this high standard. But why wouldn't they do the exact same thing for the actual Miraculous holders as well? Like, wouldn't you, like, well, I don't know if they do or not. From the way that they worded it, it did not make it seem like they do, because he was like, yeah, we train specifically to fight Rebel Miraculous holders. And it's like, does that mean that you're expecting there to be Rebel Miraculous holders? Like that's kind of scary, right? Why not go, like, you know, have two sets of people that you train, right? You have the Guardians that you train, and then you have the Miraculous holders that you train. And then you train them specifically to be Miraculous holders. I don't know if that's how they do it. That's how I would think that they should do it, because then you could ensure that they are held to the same standard. And if Guardians are held to the same standard, like that Su-Han is, then you can hope that the Miraculous holders would, and so that you wouldn't have to deal with all these Rebel, which, I mean, it's still good to train to go against Rebel, because you will have a few, right? But it's like, why not put these Miraculous holders, or soon-to-be Miraculous holders, through extensive training, just like you guys do? Like, I don't know, that just didn't make sense to me. Sort of on that same topic, when he was like, all right, you know what, I'm gonna go explore the town and see what's up with this new world, right? He wasn't even like, yeah, Marinette, I'm gonna train you, which sort of goes like, you know, maybe they don't actually train the Miracle, or the Miraculous holders. Like, you would think that if he's so like insistent on the rules and things like that, that he would help train Marinette and teach her to be a good Guardian and be a Miraculous holder. Like, come on, man, think about it a little bit. Now, one thing that I thought was cool is that Su-Han rejected the Akuma. Now, this is actually exactly what I said in my promo analysis. I was like, look, he's not going to be Akumatized. He probably has training to combat being Akumatized. And we saw exactly that. So I thought that was really cool. And why not teach Ladybug and Cat Noir that? That makes sense. Teach them how to do that stuff. I also found it quite funny how Su-Han was like terrified and was like, no, I don't want to fight the Akumatized victim. Like, oh no. Shows that Su-Han is all bark and no bite. Although he is strong against Miraculous holders, just maybe not Akumatized victims. But again, still all bark, no bite. Now, I talked about this in my trailer analysis I made yesterday, but the new suit that we've been seeing a lot of, that's not actually a new power-up or anything like that. That just simply happens when you use the Lucky Charm. And I think that's stupid. A, why didn't you introduce that back in Season 1? And B, it literally does nothing. Like, what advantage or what's the purpose of this change? There is no purpose, or from what we can see right now, there is no purpose, and I don't know why it's a thing. Now, Ladybug gives Master Fu this charm at the end. Now, I have no idea what this is supposed to do. Like, is it supposed to be like one of those buttons that Cat Noir had when she went to New York? I don't know. It's, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll see it in the future. Maybe we won't. I'm just curious as to what it actually does. Is it just like a keepsake thing where it's like it's like a Lucky Charm kind of thing. It'll keep you safe, haha. Doesn't actually do anything magical. It's just like if you believe that you're safe with this Lucky Charm, then maybe your mental fortitude will keep you safe. I don't know. That'd be my guess, but who knows? Maybe we'll actually see it be used. Now, my other question is she gonna give that out to like all the new akumatized victims, or is this just specifically for him? Like, I don't know. Now, the Miracle Box that Marinette has was the first Miracle Box to be created, which is why it has some of the more like core elements like creation and destruction, and those are considered to be more of the powerful elements as well. So that Miracle Box is the most powerful one, which is very interesting because we sort of knew that it was powerful, right? But we knew that there were all these other Miracle Boxes as well, so we just didn't know too much about it. But now we know that that's sort of like the head Miracle Box, and it's like Marinette is essentially like at the top of the food chain, right? Like, she's got the most powerful box in existence. So all the other holders or the guardians, I don't really know. We don't know anything about the other boxes really. But all of them should bow down to Marinette. Now, I started to touch on this earlier, but Su-Han decides to trust Marinette, but he does say if she messes up once, he takes back the Miracle Box, right? And he's gonna make her like relinquish the role of guardian or whatever. I'm not entirely sure what he's gonna do, but something to that effect. Now, Marinette / Ladybug seems to mess up quite frequently, especially from what we've seen in the other promos, so I don't know what he constitutes as a mess up, but we'll just have to see. Here's the thing though, right? We're never gonna see Su-Han again. Or at least in the first half of the season. It's just not gonna happen, unfortunately. That's just the way that this show is, right? I wanted to see him train Ladybug and Cat Noir, but we're not gonna see him again. And that makes me very upset. So nothing that we see is ever gonna constitute as a mess up, unless if it's the season 4 finale, which I could totally see, or maybe if it's a time in between. I changed my mind. Definitely only the season 4 finale. We'll probably be seeing Su-Han again. Other than that, we're never going to see him again, at least for this season. The next time we will see him is likely the season 4 finale. That's it. Now, Su-Han leaves to go learn about the modern life. Sort of already touched on this, but again, why is he not training them? That seems like the way smarter move. But oh well, I cannot control Su-Han, and I cannot control how the show is made. But that's just what I would have done if I was making the show. Make Su-Han be the guardian and be a teacher figure to Ladybug and Cat Noir. Teach them how to be heroes. It's such an, like, it's a no-brainer thing, guys. Come on, just do it. But yeah, those are my thoughts on this episode. If you shared some of those thoughts, let me know down in the comments below, because I will be reading them. If you had other thoughts, again, I'd love to know them. But that's going to be it for me. If you enjoyed, you can leave a like and subscribe for more content similar to this, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.